What is up, guys? It's your boy Mr. Steez coming at you with a late night commentary. Currently it is 3:09 in the morning, but ever since I started this YouTube thing, I've had this urge to keep putting out videos, and I knew one more video today and then I could sleep peacefully. So here it is, my last video of the day slash first video of the morning. Now I want to tell you guys about how I got into gaming. This is a story of when I got my little grubby hands on my first gaming device. It was a sunny Sunday morning on June 20th, 1998. I was 1 year old. No, I wasn't one. No, I don't remember the day. I don't remember the time. I don't remember anything. All I know is it was a Game Boy Advance. I loved my Game Boy Advance so much. I brought it with me everywhere, anywhere I could. It was always in the car so I could get to it when we went somewhere. It was always in my hands when we were in the mall shopping. And I had two favorite games. Now these games, some of you might not know, some of you might know. These were Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, I believe. And the second one, believe it or not, I don't know if you've heard of this one, but it was actually a Spy Kids game. Oh, no, there's a third one too. Excuse me, there's a third one. This third one was personally one of my favorites. It was the Hobbit game. You probably didn't know there was a Hobbit game on the Game Boy Advance, but there was. There was indeed a Hobbit game on the Game Boy Advance, and I loved this game. These three games were always with me. The other two were in my dad's truck, and the one that I'd always use would be in my Game Boy. And so I was introduced to gaming. Now, it wasn't too long down the road that my cousin actually got a Nintendo 64. Now, this thing was magical. I loved the Nintendo 64, and I wanted one for myself, but I was never able to get the chance to get a Nintendo 64 for myself. So, you want to know what I did? I later down the road, after the Nintendo 64's lifetime, I got myself, well, no, I didn't get myself, but my parents bought me a PlayStation 2 for, I think it was my 7th birthday, if I'm not mistaken. It was around that. I think it was before I was 10, but I know I was a good age. Like, I was up there. I know I loved playing Crash Bandicoot. That was, for the PlayStation, that was my game. That and Spyro. Those games are awesome. Old school. I hope they make them for the PS4. I'd for sure buy them. But back to the story. So, PlayStation 2 comes, and this thing, I love it. I love it. Now, there's always going to be a special place in my heart for the Nintendo 64 and the Game Boy Advance. But I feel the PlayStation 2 was the console that got me deeply into gaming. I was always on my PlayStation 2. Like, always. I'd always want more games. I'd always want more time on my PlayStation 2. And every time we'd go to the mall, I'd say, "Mom, Dad, could you stop into GameStop real quick? And I just want to look around. I'm not gonna ask for anything. I just want to look. I want to look at the games." And after a while, they'd be like, "Okay, we can go in there real quick." And inevitably, I'd be like, "Mom, Dad, this game's only like $10, and can I get it, please, so I could play it at home? It's only $10. Come on." And it worked sometimes. Sometimes it didn't. But the times it did, I remember it was so. It was magical. I remember I'd be holding my game throughout the mall. I'm like, I can't wait to get home and play this. And then we'd be pulling into the driveway. I'm like, oh yeah, I get to play this game. And then you couldn't take me away from it. It was like I'd get lost inside these these games, and I'd always have so much fun. It's just another, it's like a virtual, another place to go to, and I'd always have so much fun. And so that's really my stepping grounds on what really flung me into gaming, was the PlayStation 2. Now, of course, it was the Game Boy as well as the Nintendo 64 that helped push that along, because without those consoles, who knows where I would have been. If I saw like the PlayStation 2, I'm like, it's alright, but I'd rather go play on my bike, or I'd rather bring my skateboard out and practice my ollies. But yeah, those really kind of helped push me to become the gamer I am today. Later down the road, the PlayStation 3 is announced. Now this is when I'm kind of getting a little bit more into gaming. And so the PlayStation 3 is announced, and I'm like, oh, that's sick. And then it's like $700. I'm like, oh, that's steep. And my older brother actually got it. My older brother got himself a PlayStation 3. And every time he'd let us, we'd always go into his room and play with him. And we'd always, the game that we'd always play was either like a UFC game, and he'd kick our asses in UFC, or we'd go Call of Duty. And that's what introduced me to Call of Duty. Actually, that's what really got me introduced to Call of Duty. Before that, I was going to Hollywood Videos or Blockbusters and renting the old school Call of Duties, like Big Red 1, games like that. But I didn't really understand what Call of Duty was. I was like, oh yeah, it's a fun game. I like war games. They're fun. Get to go around and shoot people with old school guns. Yeah. But Call of Duty 4 came out for the PlayStation 3, and so we'd always play like 1v1, or like me against my brother, or my little brother against me, or something like that. And then when you got a third controller, we'd try to play like 3 people, but that didn't always work. But so most of the time it would just be one-on-one, and this was so much fun, and we had a blast until World at War came out. Call of Duty World at War. This is up there in my top favorite Call of Duties. This is really far up there. This is the Call of Duty that it really it got me into Call of Duty. Just to say, it's the Call of Duty that it doesn't get very much credit for. Like, a lot of people like Call of Duties, but a lot of people say COD 4 is their favorite Call of Duty, or MW2. It's really hard for me not to say that World at War isn't my favorite Call of Duty, because I'll always have those memories of playing co-op campaign with my older brother in his room, and getting to shoot people's heads off with like the M1 Garand, and like the Thompson. That gun was amazing, and the maps in it, the online maps, they were all amazing. Like, I loved it. I love that game. I wish they redid it for the PlayStation 4 or something. But yeah, that game is the game that I feel like really introduced me to Call of Duty as the franchise. Now, it wasn't until a couple years later when I got my first PS3. We actually went down to Oregon where there's no tax, and I bought myself a PlayStation 3 there. Me and my little brother, we chipped in all of our money, and we bought our PlayStation 3. Now, it came with God of War, which was a pretty fun game, and we also got Battlefield Bad Company 2. This is before 3 came out, and way before 4. So, if you guys played Battlefield Bad Company 2, you know that was an innovative game. Like, when I got it, I was like, you could blow up houses. This is crazy. It was fun. And I remember we were trying to play all that we could inside the hotel room, because we stayed overnight in Oregon. And so we tried to play as much as we could. And then when we got home the next day, we got it hooked up. We got it hooked up with the HD TV and all that. And we had so much fun with that. And we were loving the PlayStation 3, and it lasted us a long time, me and my little brother, and we'd always want new games for it, and so forth and so forth. And then, which brings us to today, the PlayStation 4 and my YouTube channel. Speaking of YouTube channel, I hope you all enjoyed. This brings us to the end of the video. If you did, make sure you give this video with a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe for more. I'm Mr. C's, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay Stevie.